You can start with your scales. Sometimes how your fingers overheld a little bit. So like that over legato. So you have to really be really precise with when you lift your finger to the next note, to the next note, to the next note, next. Play just your parallel motion, your natural minor. Let's try that in parallel motion. Good, yeah. And part of it's just knowing where you're going so you don't hold on too long. You can play staccato is one way you can go about it so you don't overhold on things, but eventually it just becomes a listening thing. You really got to listen for it. So I think you should keep working on G minor, all the G minors, but let's add on to that. We're actually going to add on to that A minor. We're going to go back and review A minor because our piece is in A minor, okay? Piece that's coming up soon. For Elise. It's in here. Anyway, I'll find it. I'll write it down for you. Okay, so let's get started on For Elise. Woohoo! Here's your music. Yes. Yes. Here's your very official music. I even taped it for you. It's got history. You can just sense it. I also wrote measure numbers that correspond with my music so that I can stay on track. So, what do you know about Beethoven?
He wrote songs.
Good, good. You're on the right track. What else do you know about Beethoven?
He's dead.
Good. That's important. There's not all the composers you play are dead. Any pieces, any famous pieces or music that he wrote that?
I know this one was one.
That's true.
I know there's more, but I just can't think of them.
Yes. Well, this one?
Oh, yeah.
Which is what?
Ode to Joy.
Very good. Yeah, you got it. That is one that he wrote. In fact, that's one he wrote after he was... What happened? What physically happened to him? That's pretty famous. He lost something.
He lost?
He lost one of his senses.
Oh. Smell.
Good guess.
I know you were doing that.
He lost his... No, it wasn't it. He lost his...
Hearing.
Hearing! There you go. He went deaf. Yes. Oh. So he wrote Ode to Joy actually after he had gone deaf. Fun fact.
You really got to know the notes then.
Amazing, right? He can hear them in his head. He has that oral memory. He can just hear music and amazing. Anyway, Beethoven, born his 250th birthday is actually this year. Pretty cool. So he was born 250 years ago, and so this is kind of the year of Beethoven. So it's kind of cool that you're doing this piece right now. And he was part of a period of time called the classical period, but he also bridged over to the romantic period. He had basically three composing periods in his life that we recognize and we talk about. The first part he just stayed with the rules of the classical period, and in the middle he started to get kind of into his stride and wrote really Beethoven-y sounding music. It kind of became his own, and by the end he had started losing his hearing and started experimenting more and kind of pushing the boundaries. But born, do you know what country he was born in? What his name kind of sounds like?
Like the Beethoven part?
The Beethoven part. The Ludwig part.
Ludwig, Luxembourg.
Ooh, that's a good guess. Of all the countries, I love that. Germany.
It's right next to it. So.
Was born in Germany. You got it. Born in Germany, lived in Austria for a long time in Vienna. And like I said, he did lose his hearing, and that was toward the end of his life. But a lot of his life was wrapped around that losing of his hearing and the frustration he came from that. He was kind of an angry dude. But For Elise, he wrote 1810, I think something like that. So sort of in the middle of his life, he was 40 years old, and at this point, he was a big deal. People recognized him already as the best composer of their time. And he wrote this, and actually it was forgotten. He didn't get it published until some years later. And when it was published, it was given the name Für Elise. And now we're not sure who Für Elise is.
That's a person?
Mm-hmm. Oh. We don't know if Elise was this gal named Teresa, who we think Beethoven actually proposed to, but she shot him down. If that was and so he had scribbled for Teresa, but it looked like for Elise because his handwriting was terrible. Or if this was a friend of hers that he was trying to impress her by composing a piece for her friend, or if this was just a BFF of his, another opera singer that he knew and he just composed. So we're not quite sure who Elise is, but regardless, this became one of the most famous pieces of all time. It's just amazing. And so you could hear a lot of Beethoven-y sounds in here. And Beethoven is well known for being unexpected. So unexpected mood changes, unexpected dynamic changes is such a hallmark of Beethoven's time. Just suddenly, we're angry. Suddenly, we're happy. And that's also a thing of the romantic period, which is before that, when you're in classical land, you had lots of rules. You couldn't do that stuff. But in romantic, you started pushing the envelope a little bit. So a lot of unexpected stuff. So this is what I want you to do. I'm going to play this for you. And I want you to take your music and I want you to take some notes. So you can switch places. I'll be the teacher. Or I am the teacher. I'll be the student. Here. So I want you to listen for form. Like sections A, B, C, something like that. I'm going to tell you that there is an A and there is a B and a C, but there may be some repeated sections that keep coming back, okay? I want you just to jot down things that you might hear, maybe if it sounds minor or major, or just some words if it sounds stormy or happy or tired, I don't know, any emotions you get, or just anything weird. If there's a weird chord that you hear or something you notice, just jot it down. Take some notes with this, okay? Okay? Cool. I'll switch back with you. Come back to the piano. What did you hear? What sections did you hear? We start out with what?
With the A
Woohoo!
section.
You got it. Where's B? Where does it change to B section?
Is like here.
Yes. So that's the part where it changes to, what does it sound like there? Major, minor?
Major.
Changes to major. You got it. Yeah, so totally different change there. And then what do we do next?
Then we go back to A.
We do go back to A. Woohoo! Right there, exactly. Measure 40.
I got like a C.
We do have a C. What does it sound like at the C section?
Minor.
Got it. Very minor. Cool. And then?
And then back to A.
Oh, and then back to A again. Very cool. So we've got kind of a strange thing.
So I've kind of made like a story, kind of.
Ooh, do tell.
Like, okay, so it's like he's falling asleep. He's in a dream. In a dream, he meets a girl, and they dance.
Is her name Teresa?
Sure. And then blah blah blah. And then he gets angry. But then at this part, he like forgives her, and then he wakes up from the dream.
I love it. It totally sounds like a dream. Yes. Whenever I play this major section, I always think of something just really sweet and some sweet memories, almost like you're daydreaming. So we're on the same page with that. Excellent, excellent job. Okay, the first section, this A section, is in a minor key. Do you know what minor we are in? It's kind of hard to tell. You can't even use your skills of looking at the last note, or you kind of can, if you look at the very last chord here of the section. What is that?
A.
It's A. So let's go with this running idea that we're in A minor and our key signature supports that, right? All right, so we're in A minor. I'll tell you that when we get here, we do get to major. Your first chord is outlined right here, your tonic chord, which is what? What's that? F major. Very good. And what happens when we go, oh my, sorry, here we go. We get back into, we got this running A here, don't we? Back to A minor again. So we keep kind of coming back home to that A minor, leaving and then coming back. There is a C section as well when we get to here, C major. This is going back to that B section over here, A minor. So these sections we have A, B, A, C, A. Okay, this is a cool form that we haven't done before, and it's something called a rondo form. Ooh. Rondo form is really fun. So because we play A 3 times, which section do you think you're going to get really good at?
The A section.
A section, you got it. So try to set yourself up already to mentally say, I cannot play the A section all the time. I have to make triple time, extra time
It's
for
like
my B
the part
section.
I know.
And that's the part everybody knows, right? Because it's just built in. Kind of like Ode to Joy keeps coming back to that original first bar, and that third bar is always the best. Anyway, so really start to work on, dig into the B section right away with this. Okay, you could hear lots of dynamic things going on with this, and just dig into that right away. And you heard we're going to be working a lot on pedaling. There are pedal marks in here. We just got to be careful in this initial week when you're learning it to just start listening to, oh, is this too much or too little pedal? We're going to learn about ways that we can ease in, ease off the pedal. In the B section, when we get to there, we want to make sure that the left hand is, quiet, right? Exactly. And your tempo is going to be totally dependent on how fast you can play this in measure 32. Those in your edition it's 16th notes, but 32nd notes in my edition. Those are fast and fun. We have to be able to play those lightly and accurately. So we can't go any faster. You can do that. When we do get to the C section, repeated A's. We have to use that fingering to keep our hand really relaxed, okay? So,
wait, what do these star things mean?
in this edition, that's the end of your pedal mark. So instead of writing our usual marks like that, they have ped and then they have a release. And like I said, these, I really think most of these pedal marks are good. We're going to add and touch on some. There's some places we want to ease out, especially this opening melody. We want to ease in and ease out of it so we don't get it too blurry together, okay? So A section, work on connecting this arpeggio between the hands, which is smooth and fluid, but not musical, and then get to the B section for this week, Okay? All right. Let's do next theory. Want to talk about theory if we could, please? Grab your theory book. Odessa Dills.
Yeah. Okay, I was kind of too lazy to write it out, so I just wrote those things down.
That's fine. It's only fine if you can play the 1, 5, 7, and 4 chords in E flat.
I mean, when I was practicing, I could.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Overall, you did fantastic keeping the hands together and actually moving from chord to chord. What happened? A couple times. Quite sure what was happening.
Yeah.
Not sure what's coming up next. Put your 4 chord. Make sure your thumb only comes up to a C.
Did it go on? Oh.
Went up to a D, which kind of sounded neat. Gave it a C
I knew
sort
it
of
was
sound.
supposed to be a C.
Yeah, maybe try. Let's do like the first 4 measures here and give you another shot at that. So when you're jumping into something like this where you're doing a lead sheet and you're doing those chords, just playing that chord progression at first gets your head around those notes. Cool. And I like to use lines like this on my Roman numerals just to make sure, because we're starting to get into minor and major, and then you can really tell that that is major and they're uppercase, and then without the lines they're lowercase. Okay? And then this.
We're learning these in choir.
Are you? Fantastic.
Like these didn't have double ups, so then
it made it easy. I know. I always thought through that stuff in my theory books too. The biggest thing with these intervals is, is understanding how they work. They're the same in every major scale. It's kind of cool. Major 7th, perfect 5th. They happen between certain notes in the same places. So we're going to keep doing those and learning those. And I want to do more chord stuff with you where we use these more to figure out our chords. 1, 4, 1, 5, 7, 1. You got it. Well, that's a little careful. A flat. Yes. And that's the other thing when you're figuring out your 1, 4, 5, 7, 1 chords. It's like, what is this? What is the 4th note of the scale? Oh, it's A flat. What is an A flat chord? And it seems like a lot of steps to finally get to your chord, but it will get you the accurate answer. And those steps get faster the more you use them. And this is a B flat. And when we have a 5-7 chord, we would do the 7. I don't think this is a 5-7 though, is it? I talked about when and why so much we use the 5-7, but a 7 would be a 7th above the B flat, which is an A flat. And in this chord, we don't have that. So it would be just a pure 5 chord.
Okay.
Actually. I don't know if they intended to do that to you or not. That's kind of neat. They've been always using 5-7s. And we just usually always use the 5-7. It's just a stronger chord. So, okay. Overall, nice. So, next in our journey here, D minor river. Ooh, we're making progress. First inversions. Cool. We're doing the harmonic minor scale. So in D, we have to have a B flat, but then not a C flat. We need a C. It's raised.
Sharp. C
sharp. There you go. And that's going to give it that Egyptian Aladdin sound, you know?
I think I know it's sharp, but then it was just in flats.
You're in flat in the world of flats?
So then this one is supposed to be a sharp.
It is. And with that information, does that change your answer here? That double flat?
Yes.
What should it be?
Sharp.
It's not a sharp,
Just a natural.
but just a flat. How about just a flat? How about just a good old-fashioned B flat, just like that? Okay. And if we had a key signature, it would just have a B flat in it. So B flat, C sharp, and then on the way down, you got it. They're both natural. You got it on the way down. That's usually the hard part. Okay, sweet. 1 4 1 5 7 1. Yeah, remember the 5 7 chords are always major, so that's why it's capitalized. Cool. Give the camper directions by spelling a minor 4 chord in the key of D minor. The minor 4 chord.
I don't remember when I did this, but
It sounds minor to me, but that's what you have written. So what do you need to change?
add a flat.
B flat. Okay, bonus question. What chord is this? What letter name? What name shall you give this chord? G minor. You got it. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so next, write your own fingering for this piece. This is really good. A little exercise. Because we just don't always get our fingerings for us. It says, hints. Write in fingerings whenever the hand position changes, the thumb passes over or under, or a finger crosses over under, or if a fingering will help you see a certain pattern. So if there's something that continues to be a pattern and you're going to use that same fingering, you might want to reuse and write it in, okay? So start with those things. Those are the main ways that you do fingers. I see scales. I see scales. So thumb unders, writing in thumb under sound. That was great. Relative minor. Remember how to find the relative minor from the major? Down 3 half steps. You got it. And then remember when we go up, we have to go back up to the major. The sun comes back out. So we go down, the sun goes under. Each slice of pizza relates to the circle of fifths. Observe the key signature for each slice. Then name the relative major and minor keys in the pepperoni. I love that. And then name the tonic, subdominant, and dominant triads for each major and minor key. Subdominant, so tonic is which one?
The first one.
And subdominant is the
fourth.
And then dominant is the fifth. That makes sense, right? Dominant, subdominant. Okay, cool. So each of those. And we know all that. That's all review. Okay, cool. We've got Fur Elise, and then what else? Can you play for me?
This song.
Oh, yes. How do you like the ballad?
It's fun.
did some nice work for your first week. That's really cool. We need to do a few details on this one, okay? Yeah. The notes, the structure is there. Now we got to flesh it out, make it really cool, really exciting sounding. So allegro con brio, allegro with brilliance, you know. So I wrote down the 2 words I want more of is energy and excitement, okay? And we always talk about whether you're feeling that way or not at that moment, you got to put it into your music and just project into that, just like you're acting, okay? So the staccatos, you've got the right articulation, I think. It just has got to be a whole lot quieter. And this is the part of this piece that has vexed people for years. The bane of so many pianists' existence you now get to experience is, how do I keep those chords so quiet? They're so hard. So you have to keep your fingers so close to the keys. And absolutely no give in any part of this hand. You got it. Yeah, that's so much better. And that gives it that mysterious sound. And now your left hand can play.
Hard to do.
Isn't it though?
Because then when you get like a sudden loud, then that one just.
It just wants to come up too, and you have to be like, no, it's not your turn. You can't do that. No. Because the right hand is usually in charge of all that. It's kind of it gets too much power sometimes. We give it too much. And that's something brilliant about this piece that Bergmuller wrote. So, and then let's go faster. You can really lay into those short sounds of bum, 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 boo. They need to be like boo, like you sneak around the corner. Gotcha. And the left, do you hear the staccatos in the left hand matched the excitement of the staccatos in my right hand. So we want those articulations to match. That makes sense. Okay? And then the same thing we get down here. Bump, 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 bump. The sense of the music is always pulling us forward, okay? I'm going to write that down. Match articulations. So the beginning is so sinister and so excited and kind of like a chase. Kind of goes with your incognito, like you're trying to chase the bad guy is trying to chase you, potentially shoot you down, so you have to keep moving. And in the middle, it's almost like a waltz or a dance, isn't it? The love story, again, they fall asleep. So all that staccato and crispness that we had on the first page goes away, and you have to use lots of arm for your legato. Relaxed, sinking into the keys, but arm. Oh, if I could just spell arm. It's been a long day, I guess. Arm legato. Arm without the A, without the R. Okay, and then everything seems like it's great, and then all of a sudden we get back to the evil, sinister side. So that picture idea, you could totally make a story with this song too. Mm-hmm. Make the story. Bring me into the story, and be really that forte at the end. Yeah, so use those dynamics to tell your story. I'm just going to put story. What is your story?
I got one already.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going with bad guy theme. Okay, so he's a bad guy. But deep down, he just wants to be
He dreams of making donuts.
Yeah. And then snap back to reality.
Ooh, I like it. He goes back to his sinister, evil ways. What movie is that? There's a movie like that, isn't there?
Probably.
Oh, I want to say there's a good movie like that where it's a bad guy, but the better side of the bad guy. For sure. Okay? Dynamics, expression, excitement. In order to finish the book. It's almost there. You can do it. More about music bridges. So I will send you some music ideas. I have